Welcome to the International Gamers Union podcast, with your hosts Snooty Skavuvi and Binary Ghost. You've reached a checkpoint.
Welcome to the International Gamers Union, episode 28. I'm joined as always my co-host Snooty Skavuvi.
Hey!
And I am Binary Ghost, as you know by now, 28 episodes in.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
28 episodes.
Yeah, 28 episodes. It's been a while since we had another one of these up. We've been doing the other podcast, Snooty Ghost, but this one is on point, on schedule, as promised. We're going to have it every few weeks, every once a month, somewhere in that neighborhood. Got some interesting stuff to talk about today. Looking forward to that.
Yep.
What are we talking about today?
We can start with the reveal for Battlefield 5.
Battlefield V?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does not stand for Vietnam.
No. That would have been much cooler if it did.
Yeah.
But no. We get another World War II game. Fighting Nazis again. Get over it, America. It was 75 years ago.
There's definitely been a lot of World War II games.
There's been too many World War II games. I feel like the genre has been beat to death.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it hasn't been a World War II game done by Battlefield in 16 years, as I got corrected on Twitter. I don't believe there's been one for Xbox One yet, other than the other Call of Duty one that came out. But,
World War II?
Yeah. Not that I can think of that was made for Xbox One, I'm not sure.
Yeah, not unless you're counting, like, Wolfenstein, which is kind of, like, not the same thing.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't count that. But, yeah, so I'm disappointed. I feel like, they were doing research on Infinity Ward or whoever's doing the World War, Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah, that was Infinity Ward.
Yeah, so whoever, I feel like, they're doing a Call of Duty World War, they're doing a World War II game, we got to do one too. And it's just, man, like, don't be afraid to be different. Like, there's a lot of other, there's a lot of other wars you could use, for example, where people were killing each other.
Yeah, there's definitely not a
haven't been done. Like, Vietnam hasn't been done real well, and I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe, like, I guess, okay, so I know why. It's easy to make a war game where the lines are, the between good and evil are really clear drawn, and that's why World War II particularly is so appealing, right, to story makers and to video game developers, because they're shooting at people, but they're Nazis, the Holocaust, they're killing people, the genocide, like, that's the motivation. Where in Vietnam, it's like, we probably shouldn't have been there shooting up
and it wasn't like
civilians.
It wasn't like a clean-cut ending, too. They kind of just, like, pulled out once they...
They got their ass whooped, is what happened.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's, I guess, not, But here's the thing. There's two ways you could go with this. Well, mainly it's one's an extension of the other, but it doesn't have to be super realistic. Like, you can make fake political... Like, a quick story at the beginning says, America split into da-da-da-da, and then this was that. Like, it doesn't... I don't care about the uniforms. I care about hit markers. I care about other things. I care about the backdrop. Like, let's take it somewhere else, and let's make it...
And,
I don't know.
Ghost Recon Wildlands kind of, like, made their own story that way, right?
Yeah, they went with the whole drug cartel. Again, with the whole, like, you can feel okay about shooting these people because they're drug dealers. It's like, oh, man. Like, come on. I get it, but... Here's the thing. Wars are always fought, like, both sides think that they're doing the right thing, Like,
yeah.
That's why it's sort of stupid to me that they're, they only see it from this side. You could do it from the perspective, like, you always don't need to be the protagonist in the story. You could be the antagonist, you could be the bad guy in the story, or not necessarily the bad guy, but it is a lot of times a gray area. Right? Like, especially World War I in a lot of ways, right? Because there was no outright sort of, there was no Holocaust, there was nothing like that. It was,
And I guess with Battlefield, you do play as, like, the Nazis, but not really in the storyline, just, like, when you're PvP. One team is, like...
Oh, you mean in multiplayer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In multiplayer, I guess you play as the Nazis. Which, I think people should have more of an issue with that. I think that I don't know why that's okay. Like, I don't know if they have, like, from a developer's perspective, it's like you're the protagonist in the story, you're a campaign, you're taking down, you're the good guys. and then they make the multiplayer where people can actually be the Nazis and win. And I guess the idea is somebody's got to be the other side.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, if you're a Nazi, you're fighting for the kill the Jews and all the bad stuff that we know about, right? Like all the death camps and shit. So I don't know. It seems like hypocritical in a way. But anyways, the series is. I'm tired of World War II. Let's focus on other wars. Like, I wanted to see something in the late 70s to like mid 80s, like that sort of range. Because I feel like my limited knowledge here, folks. Caveat to what I'm saying. This feel like the technology wasn't totally implemented then. It was still sort of like everything was really analog still at that point, right? Where you had some of the more high-tech weapons, but you didn't have everything wasn't totally computer-assisted yet. So it was still in that...
The M16 was made, like, what, in the 60s?
Late 50s, 58, 59, by a guy named Michael Stoner, I believe. But anyways, yeah.
It's a random fact.
Random fact. Yeah. I was just talking about this when I was at the Airsoft Depot.
Oh, true.
So, anyways, but I would have liked to see something in there, something in that vein, right? Some special forces type things, like imagine there was a game that was, the IDF against, Hamas, right? Like,
which one's Hamas?
Well, that's Palestine. That's the
okay.
terrorist organization. I'm using air quotes right now. That the IDF say they're targeting when they're shooting civilians. But it's just weird how, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. And I feel like instead of trying to go down the, let's recreate wars and with all these political things, World War II is no exception. I think it's cool to play campaigns, I get it, but I just don't think that, I think we should be focusing more on making fictional storylines, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's almost like, I don't want to say like a cop-out, but you don't have to worry about, writing a story when you just use World War II as much. Obviously...
It is a cop-out. I think it's totally a cop-out, man. I personally think it is. I feel like Battlefield didn't have any, cojones to do something they wanted. They're like, oh, we don't want, what if everybody gets really into Call of Duty, into World War II genre? Oh, we need something to compete. They did it just to compete.
Yeah.
Or maybe Infinity War did it. I don't know who knows who decided to go with that genre again. I don't know how it happened, but I don't know. I would have preferred something modern. Something that was happening with, more modern weapons. I'm tired of using old-ass rickety guns,
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping for something obviously a little more different than Battlefield 1, just because it seemed
I think Battlefield 1 was a fail to me, man. I don't think it captured...
Compared to Battlefield 3 and 4?
Yeah.
Which are amazing games, obviously.
Yeah. And it wasn't... It's not just the rickety-ass guns, but I just don't feel like they captured... when I was playing, it wasn't that addictive. I felt like I was playing... I don't know how to explain it. It felt very basic, very, very primitive. It didn't feel everything. I don't know. I can go on and on about my anecdotal experience, but needless to say, I wasn't a fan of it. It was a good game. It was polished. It was AAA.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't a fan. I wasn't inspired. It didn't. The games all seemed to play almost exactly the same time, same way every game, every round, map. It was never a lot of diversity. Although they tried. I don't know what went wrong. Maybe it was just the map design. Maybe it's just my stupid opinion. Maybe I didn't give it a good enough chance. But Battlefield 4, the other Battlefield games had a lot more of a, in my opinion, dynamic battlefield. I felt like the way things happened with the combination of the air, the vehicles, it just made all these little skirmishes happen all around. I felt it feels more dynamic. And then Battlefield 1, which felt sort of... like there's grooves in the road and everybody always went in the same grooves in the road.
Yeah, almost like the Call of Duty laneways that you get funneled through.
Yeah, I guess that's a really good analogy.
They did say that this new Battlefield is going to be more like the older ones. They said they're kind of going back to the roots or whatever, and they said it's going to everything's going to be more destructible and stuff. So hopefully it's more like Battlefield 4 that way.
Yep.
With tanks rolling through buildings and stuff. You didn't really have that in Battlefield 1. Sorry,
you were
I
supposed
thought
to.
you looked at me. I thought you were about to say
See,
something.
that's where Snooty was supposed to like carry it there when he saw I was trying to do some quick research on a computer, and then I looked to him and gave him the point like, yeah, and he's like,
Sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I was trying to get you to fill it up because I was trying to get our guest who we have coming on in a few minutes to talk about SOCOM. Yeah, we got a guest. Haven't had one of those in a few episodes. We used up all our friends who were making them do it, but we found another one.
We didn't have to go through doubles yet. Get people back on.
Yeah, get him back on. It's been a while. Get him back on and talk about more stuff. But yeah, he should be calling in shortly, and I'm looking forward to talking to him. We're going to talk about SOCOM and some other stuff. So, but yeah, back to Battlefield. Not really personally happy with the Battlefield franchise going in that direction. I can't blame them. I think it's still going to be a great game. I don't know. I'm not amped to buy it. I personally, if I had to make a bet, I think this game, unless it's spectacular, it's going to flop. Because I think people are done with the genre. But I'm old too, right? So I'm remembering all the games from like
That's true.
Medal of Honor, late 90s, up to, there's so many. Band of Brothers, Brother in Arms, all the Call of Duties. Like, there's just so many of the...
If you think of it that way, a lot of people, maybe this is going to be like one of their first World War II games, and that could be like huge for them.
Well, for some 10-year-olds, yeah, for sure, it might be, right?
So it might be like I said, like really, really big for them. Finally,
maybe I'm just mad at getting old and seeing another turn of the wheel here come up. God damn it, we went through that. I want new stuff made for me. I'm tired of World War II because the genre was really beat to death, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know all the World War II. I know all the guns from World War II just from the dang video games I played. Oh, so here's our guest. We have him calling in here. And you're on with Kamikaze. Kamikaze, how you doing today, sir?
Really good, really good. Can't complain. The weather's great. Just finished playing about 5 hours of games, and I'm all ready to speak.
He's always ready to speak. So yes, so we got Kamikaze on the phone here. We told you to be calling in, and as promised, here he is. You're joined by myself, Binary Ghost, and we got Snooty Skavuvi here with you. How are you? Man?
Hey, Snooty. How are you doing?
Good, man. So what games are you playing? You say you're playing 5 hours of games before hopping on?
Well, I've been going through PUBG and basically just Killer Instincts and, I don't know, all the other games that I got on my thing. I've been going through them like Rainbow Six and stuff like that, just switching back and forth because if you're sticking, just to PUBG for 5 hours, you're going to go crazy. So
yeah, for sure.
Oh, is that what's wrong with me? Because I've been playing it a lot longer than 5 hours at a time.
That explains it.
That explains it. So, yeah, we wanted to bring you on today to talk with some of our listeners about SOCOM. If anybody remembers the SOCOM series for the PlayStation, and if you're a listener of the Snooty Ghost podcast, we did a top 5 reasons why SOCOM 5 isn't being made. So this is sort of a follow-up to that, and we wanted to have you on to talk a little bit about the old SOCOM that you used to play so much, and, your thoughts and feelings on that. So, first off, did you get a chance to listen to the other podcast, and what did you think about the top 5 reasons there? What do you remember about those, and what was your reaction to learning the bad news about Zipper Interactive, the company that made it, closing down, and just that whole thing there? I bet you that was a bit of a kick in the nuts, so to speak.
Well, the kick in the nut actually came back when they turned off all the servers, to be honest. And,
true.
It just... And there was an excitement moment because right afterwards they had released that, SOCOM H-Hour was coming out. And that's why they shut down the servers initially. And basically they were making it for PS4. So at that time I only had the PS3 and I was waiting, 2 years went by, still no word of release date or anything, looking like a dummy, going into different stores, like I won't name them, but play it again stores type of thing where you trade games and ask them if they have a release date. I've gone to the States and asked them as well over there out in Miami if they had any word of anything going on. Maybe they had an inside scoop. Nope, no one answers for me. Then I came back and basically started reading some more, and they still had no release dates. And then you guys just came out with the news, and you told me on the top 5 that basically it's a no-go because it was not funding. They scrapped the whole project. And then basically
Whoa.
just, are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're still here. Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I lost you. Basically, I started, I was really upset. I'm not going to lie. And really, I had to go and start researching for myself and find out if there was something else they were doing after they scrapped that. Maybe their focus was towards something else. And I found out that basically it did not get scrapped. And they actually have started working on a beta version for the PC as of March 26, 2018. And then from there, they're going to take it out to the PlayStation version. So they want to get rid of all the bugs and stuff like that. So I'm psyched again. Now, I don't know.
Sorry, we did a bit of research there, and we couldn't find anything for any sort of SOCOM news in that respect. We found a lot of websites talking about, honoring the SOCOM series. We found a couple forums where people were asking about the revival of the game, et cetera, et cetera. But no, we hadn't seen any of that news. So that's really interesting information. That must be the light at the end of the tunnel for guys like yourself.
Do you know?
Not yet. Not just yet, though. Remember, we were told the same type of news like 3 years ago. So it's a little exciting, but I don't want to give my hopes up type of thing because every time I do, it turns out there's something that happens and they shut it down.
Well, sorry, go ahead. Snooty has a question.
I was just going to say, did you happen to read who is developing it? Because Zipper isn't a studio anymore.
So basically, from what I understood, SOF Studios is the one that's in their latest development in their updating the actual program.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're actually releasing scorch maps and they're doing animation upgrades and fixing bugs, and stuff like that. That's what they've released to the public so far, to the original version that they had, had in development. Now, this game, it's not for everybody, right? So, I do understand from when you guys initially had, your top 5 reasons why it did not go off to, program. Now, myself, and I know a lot of people, and again, Ghost, he can, appreciate this as well. We're tired of games where we go in and play and there's kids playing that just basically want to nuke the whole map. With all the technology, all the stuff like that, it's not realistic. When you're in, a platoon style fighting, you're not going to have, UAVs left and right after you've got 3 kills type of thing. You have to earn the right to get that UAV. You have to earn the right to get things, to help you out. Now, SOCOM is different from all those type of gaming. And that's why, people like myself, I'm fiending for this type of game. And if they don't come out with this type of game, I'm besides PUBG, I'm not interested in any other game. At all.
And
just because.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say PUBG too is very bare bones, so I could see them being very similar play styles.
It's what attracted me to PUBG is that it is so bare bones, and I think with Kamikaze, he, I obviously won't speak for him, but in general, I get the vibe that he appreciates the same sort of things from PUBG or games like that. But there is no other tactical shooters really out there. They're too focused on tech, and I'm not into that.
Yeah, Rainbow Six got really crazy with their
Rainbow Six is ridiculous.
Gadgets and stuff, real quick.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At first, that's what attracted me was Rainbow Six was the alternative because I always liked the Tom Clancy,
they were great. Rainbow Six Vegas, Rainbow Six Vegas 2 was a little bit shittier, but they were solid games.
Yeah, and then they went out with this Rainbow Six, the new one, the Siege, and it started out great. You go into a plane, there's a hijacking system, same scenario, same type of things, but then they start coming out with different tech stuff and different ways to, have the advantage over your enemy and stuff like that. And to me, when you're in a real war zone and you're fighting, you don't really have all these gadgets to play with all the time. So what do? right? And that it's just like that's how it differs. The game differs, and that's why PUBG sets different from
Well, I
you know,
mean,
all the other gaming.
if we really look at what it is, right? So there's an inclination with game developers to follow like the special forces, tactical, those sort of small, highly specialized units, and those guys do use that type of tech. Are you wrestling with something? Are you okay? Are you getting robbed?
Hello?
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, we just heard some rustling and then you just came back, so that's why we asked.
Wrestling.
Rustling, not wrestling, rustling of the phone. It sounded like you were wrestling with somebody, which I guess is confusing.
No, I'm sitting in my car and the AC is on. I heard everything you guys were saying, and then I just went.
Well, I'm not sure. We were getting some weird feedback there, so I guess that's.
Sorry about that.
So what I was saying was they have all these highly specialized. They focus the game on all these highly specialized units, and they do use that tech, but it's not. That's more the issue here. I think that they could focus on a 2018 military, but instead of focusing on the highly specialized Splinter Cell types, we could focus on your everyday Marine type who doesn't have all the whole extra kit. And I think that would be more interesting, but I think that's where the mistake lies. And I think with games like PUBG, where you just have a basic drop-in, get your guns, you're just a random guy, you accomplish the same thing. But if you, like, are supposed to be a special forces guy, it almost annies you up to having to have some cool tactical stuff to justify who you are, because that's what they really do. So I feel like they need to step away from the highly specialized tactical special forces, whatever the fudge, and they need to go more towards like a general purpose sort of soldier to keep it fun.
Yeah, so, Rainbow Six kind of set their own precedent by releasing new operators every season, so they can't really stop now, so that's why it's going to get more diluted with.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. The only thing is like, you know, like SOCOM, which I'm hoping if they are coming out with the new one, they basically have the same type of gameplay that they did with their classic version. Just because, like, when you're playing a SOCOM game, everybody knows this. You have your primary, you have your secondary, and you only have, like, a certain amount of grenades, and that's it. You go out. Now, you also have things like game modes where there's a bomb tech, right? So now randomly throughout the game, you know, as the round comes through, the computer automatically generates who gets to be the bomb tech. So you might become the bomb tech and you might not even know. Now you're responsible for defusing all the bombs, okay? But you're the only one. You don't have anybody in the map running around and trying to defuse, right? So the rest of the guys are there to defend the bomb tech, because if the bomb tech dies, the game is done. So that type of scenario, it actually includes everybody in the game to protect the bomb tech, and the bomb tech has one objective, right? Where instead of everybody running randomly from left side of the map, right side of the map, middle of the map, going towards the bomb and trying to defuse.
No, we understand the sentiment. It forces you to be tactful and have some tactics and work as a team, etc. So, no, I definitely understand that. And what I'm gathering from all this is that there is definitely a market still for these games that have been labeled niche, which I don't think are as niche as the market may believe. I think a lot of people don't know that they want this, and I think PUBG is a testament to my little theory here, because I feel like, in my opinion, I say I feel like. That's why you can't argue with me, because I'm saying what I feel instead of what I think. But
I agree.
I feel like PUBG. The reason people like it is because of the bare bonesness to it, not that whole sentiment that we just explained. And I'm not sure they're aware of it, but I feel like there's going to be some progression in the next couple years. I think people are going to recognize, hopefully some smart people in the developing world will recognize what is actually attractive about games like PUBG and mimic that. So
yeah, and the Battle Royale style, I feel wouldn't even work if you had too much tech, because it'd be too unbalanced.
Sure, but what I'm saying, I'm saying you could take PUBG game right now and take away the Battle Royale and just make it one side against the other, or make a bunch of teams, and it would still be an amazing game. Like the Battle Royale, they don't understand. They think everybody likes Battle Royale. No, that's not what it is, motherfucker. What it is, pardon my language, because we're not doing a Snooty Ghost podcast. This one's supposed to be the clean one, darn it. What it is the bare bones thing about it, right?
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It basically all comes down to skills, right? So, like, real gamers that don't need to cheat will play games like PUBG.
Yeah,
right?
gatekeeping, 2018. Real gamers don't need to cheat.
Exactly. There's no code.
Take that,
there's
cheaters.
No aimbots. There's no, like, all of this stuff. And, you know, and God knows, I'm praying that once this game is fully done and, like, released, does not actually allow those things to happen because, you know, again, people will go and find a way to cheat, just like they always do.
Well, I would say...
And that just ruins the experience for everybody.
I would say... Well, I think we need to both... I think we'll do some more research on our end about the information that we didn't know that there was one in development. We did some research, quite a bit of research, and that we never came across that. So we're going to look into it a little bit more. But I think the caveat, the whole thing could hinge on who's involved, because the company Zipper Entertainment that made all the SOCOM series disbanded in 2012. So how many of those people are involved in the new SOCOM that's being developed, as per your comment earlier? I don't know, but I could tell you there's going to be a big difference if nobody's involved. It's almost like it's almost like a painter trying to imitate another painter's style, you know? Mm-hmm. Like if you had like a Rembrandt or some, you know, Da Vinci or some crazy painting, and then, you know, you want another one, but the artist is dead. You go, well, I can kind of paint like Da Vinci, and they try to make another SOCOM, but it doesn't have all the little details that made it Da Vinci, that made it a Rembrandt, and that's going to be the thing. Do we have any of those people around that know, or at least were exposed to that original ingredient that made it? Maybe it was one guy's passion who was just like, no, the sound needs to be right. No, this has to be this way, because you need vision. A camel is a horse drawn by a committee. And what that means is that you have too many people trying to put on ideas, it doesn't work. You need one person with a vision, and you need a team to be able to back that up and implement and execute. Having a whole bunch of smart people in the room is actually, like, a whole bunch of idea generators is not always a good thing, because egos, because sometimes people have better ideas, but some people are better speakers than others, so they can sell their ideas harder. Like, there's all these other variables, and that's why you need one person with a vision and a team, and that's hopefully what the new SOCOM we're talking about, or that Kamikaze dropped on us here, hopefully that's what they get, because I would like to see that series back. From everything I saw online, they're as passionate about the SOCOM series as I am about the glory days of the Ghost Recon series. And I would like Ghost Recon to bring it back the way they used to do it. And I would like, SOCOM and the players who played that to play it. Even if for my own personal bias, in case that they don't make a Ghost Recon, I can go play SOCOM. Because SOCOM was if I ever had to switch over to the PlayStation and there wasn't a Ghost Recon available on PlayStation, which there was, but I would have played SOCOM. Mm-hmm. It wasn't available on the Xbox, but it was in the same spirit, and I felt, as the Ghost Recon, where it was a tactical shooter.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Snooty? Do you think it was a niche game, or do you think that there's a lot of other people out there that really want this type of game, but they don't know?
Yeah, I think just because, for the simple fact that there aren't many really bare-bone games out there right now.
No, there's not.
They probably need, I feel like it's one of those things that people don't know they want until they actually play it. And then they realize, oh, wait, this is what I need.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Kamikaze?
I came across it accidentally myself. I picked it up at a used game store for I think $15, and that was like 4 years after they had made it. I didn't even know they had this type of game system, where you can play online and have just the bomb tech mode type of thing, right? And the people that actually play it, the players, the thing that sets it aside, you will notice, and this is to all the listeners, if you're looking for something different in terms of, if you're tired of people cheating, because in this game people are committed to kick out cheaters, even if they're on your own team cheating. If anybody is caught cheating, you have a booting system where 5 people vote on your team to boot that guy out. So right at the beginning of the map, if the guy's coming out using tubes and stuff like that to kill half of the other squad, which doesn't give them any advantage at all or anything like that, your own team can kick you out once they see it. So There's no horse playing. There's no kids like running in, because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've gotten booted myself a whole bunch of times when I first started until I understood all the rules. Because the community is very strong and they're set on real fair play.
Ghost Recon was very similar in terms of there was always a lot of booting of other players, and I mean, it wasn't always for as altruistic reasons as people cheating, though, and I'm sure SOCOM was the same thing. Sometimes you just got booted because there was 4 guys on the team and they wanted their 5th guy in there.
Yeah, that happens quite often.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. We did it ourselves, too, because we were waiting for our guy to show up. But when you have real games going, like, people are fair. Like, they know, when you have a team playing, sometimes you have to leave yourself because they're waiting on that one guy. And they'll ask you nicely. If you don't, they'll kick you out.
Yeah, I think most of our listeners are pretty familiar with how the whole online system of playing goes. And I think it's always just been like that. So.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So basically I'm going to do more research on this as well, because I'm really psyched, and if I hear anything new, I'm gonna let you guys know for sure.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments. You can hit us up on any of our platforms there, or you can reach out to either of us personally directly. So we would love to hear what your thoughts are about going forward as the new SOCOM develops, and we're gonna do some research on our end to see exactly who's involved with this new game being developed for PC. So even if you have the link that you found that on, or you remember, go ahead and send that through to us also. Any of that helps. Well, I mean, we're going to try to do our own research, but I don't know. It helps.
Definitely
For sure.
Turn the conversation around. We thought that there wasn't going to be any development for SOCOM going forward. So
yeah, we were actually ready to have a dark and gloomy conversation here about, you know what, the zipper is dead, everything's dead, everybody who made the game died of cancer. Well, I don't know that. I shouldn't say that. They might not have died.
Oh, geez. Well, from what I understand, it's a community that's running it now. It's a community of like dedicated people to SOCOM, and they just, love that style of gaming, and they want to run it, and it's funded. I think from what I understood, it's funded by fans. Now, if there's a way that I could fund them, like send them money to help them in any way, I would. I just don't know how to get in touch with
So something like that would likely be on Kickstarter, right? If there a lot of games have been funded on Kickstarter. Isn't there another one?
GoFundMe?
Yeah, there's GoFundMe, there's Kickstarter, which those are crowdfunding networks, right? So that would be another place that we didn't think to research to see if there's anything on there even trying to be funded, but that is another good thing. Hopefully,
that Friday the 13th game was funded on Kickstarter, and that did reasonably well, I believe. Yeah,
there's several games, smaller games, but that got funded through GoFundMe, and forgot the other one. Dang it, man, my brain. Jeez, holy. So, Kamikaze, I want to say thank you. I know you're a busy man. I know you got another little gamer there you got to watch out for. So,
he likes to play the poop game. So every time
and you're
I'm
player
about to start
too.
a game, and like PUBG, I'm on a round and I'm in the plane ready to drop, and all of a sudden he'll start crying because he just pooped. So I gotta run and change his diaper.
That's a co-op game.
I think I've become the fastest diaper changer and got back before the time is for me to drop. Ready to go, and he's sitting there watching me. So.
Hey, well, listen, we really appreciate your time. We appreciate you calling in, and keep us active in the comments. Let us know if you have any suggestions for either the Snooty Ghost podcast or for the IGU podcast as a whole. We're gonna do our best to look into petitions, and who knows, if we don't find one out there, maybe we'll start one. So. Thanks again, Kamikaze, for calling in.
Thank you for having me on, and hope to hear from you guys soon.
Yeah, man, it's our pleasure.
Yep, awesome. Okay, take care.
All right.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so that was Kamikaze.
Yeah, he very
seems
passionate
in good
about
spirits.
SOCOM.
Very passionate about SOCOM indeed. So, that was a lot of fun to have him on. Sorry about the quality there. It's not, we don't have a $1 million studio yet. It's being built.
Yeah. On its way.
It's on its way. So yeah, it was good that he called in and gave us some time. I wasn't expecting him to say that there was a new one being developed right now. That wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, especially because we looked it up right before too to see if we saw anything.
I guess we didn't. I guess we got to go past page 1 in Google.
Yeah, who does that?
I don't know. Not me very often, right? Page 2 of Google is some obscure shit. It doesn't take very long to get down to like crazy. Even the bottom of page 1 gets a little crazy whatever you're searching. It's usually something that just like has a word you searched in or something that's like related because of the way they like gather, their information. So, anything else? What else we got?
I was just gonna mention, because we were talking about PUBG, the new Call of Duty game is actually gonna have a battle royale mode in it.
Oh my god! They don't get it.
Which is gonna be
interesting. They don't get it, Snooty.
Yeah.
They don't get it. They think it's about battle royale, but they don't get it. It's about the bare bones, putting player against player, and that's it.
And that's why I think the Call of Duty won't really work, because if you have like all these perks and stuff, how is it like a fair battle royale? I don't know how they're going to do that.
They might disable them for that. I'm sure they'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll be a clone. It'll be a Call of Duty version of Fortnite / PUBG. It'll be somewhere in the middle of that, where you will be able to have some. You probably won't have buildable structures, but there'll be.
One reason why I think that Call of Duty wouldn't be good for Battle Royale is because the guns in Call of Duty, especially the snipers and stuff, they're all hit scan guns, which basically means that there's no lead time for like bullet travel time. So there's hit scan, and the opposite would be in like PUBG. You have what's the word?
I don't know.
Oh man, I'm losing it. So you know how you have to lead your shots because there's the bullet drop and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they don't have that in Call of Duty. So basically, you pull the trigger. If your crosshairs are on the guy, it's an instant hit.
Yeah, that's whack.
Yeah. So it wouldn't really work if you're far away on a map in a battle royale and someone just like snipes you instantly. I think that's really.
Yeah, that's whack. Especially like it can take up to 1 or 2 seconds. Somebody can move in that time. That could be. It's been the literal difference in my life in death. You hear the pew, and then and you're just like had just walked by, and you gotta have that. That's ridiculous. Thank you for explaining that. I had never heard the terminology.
I was thinking about projectile, so hit scan versus projectile.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure because I hadn't heard hit scan before, so I was like, I don't know the word you're thinking of. I was thinking projectile, but I wasn't sure if there was like an actual term like hit scan. So hit scan is where the crosshairs are right on the guy. There's no lead time. So what lead time is like when somebody's running, you kind of shoot where they're gonna be, right? Like you take that into consideration. You kind of lead your shot, right?
Yeah.
So, but the hit scan is no matter what, you just put it right on them, and pull the trigger, and it instantly detects and it makes that sort of connection.
And that's why quick scoping became a thing at Call of Duty, because you instantly pull the sniper trigger and they get hit. There's no projectile, so that's why you could run around with a sniper rifle and kill people as if it were like a machine gun.
That's so whack. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, but it does make Call of Duty a really fast-paced shooter, and that's a reason why a lot of people like it, because you can run around and...
it's a reflex game, right? It's a game that you don't think about, you play, and it's just like, like that. But other games are not as fun to do that with, so... man, I am disappointed about that Battlefield 5, but you know what? A big part of my disappointment is just because of what I wanted it to be. So I won't obviously be casting prejudgment on the game. Like I might play it and love it, and that they make great games, so I probably will. But I just really wanted something other than a World War II game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm really excited to see when they actually release some actual gameplay footage instead of just the cinematic trailer kind of thing. They did say that they're going to be making a lot of changes away from how Battlefield 1 was. So even though it's close to the same timeline, the game is supposed to be played a lot like the older Battlefield games, they said. So I'll be interested to see what they mean exactly by that. Yeah,
that's pretty ambiguous. So the graphics are going to be really bad? Is that what it is? It's going to look like games circa 2001, 2002 Battlefield. Really just slamming this thing together and just slapping a price tag on her.
They're making it... There's a couple changes I did here. The medics... isn't it going to be an instant revive anymore? Actually, you're going to have to, like, stand over them and, like, do some, like, cinematic to revive people. They're going to have... Your ammo is going to be a lot lower, and you have to rely on support players more, because they want to make it more teamwork-based instead of just running around on your own.
It's kind of gay.
Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna play out.
Yeah. It's not inspiring. I'm not like really. I can't really get into it. I was thinking of something to say as you're talking there, or like I had something to say, but I forget what it was. It must not have been that important.
But yeah, it will be interesting to see over the next few months because it comes out in October. So I want to look at that, and I'm gonna keep an eye on the new Black Ops, see if it looks good. I did like the original Black Ops game that came out 12 years ago. That was one of my favorite Call of Duty games. So
I remember what I was gonna say now.
Yeah.
I don't like the reviving factor at all. I think it should be more like PUBG. Just you're dead.
Yeah.
But on the duo, you can revive people, which is kind of whack. I think if you get shot... Okay. I don't know where I want this to like end at the end of the day, but I think if you get shot in the head or in the center mass and you don't have a vest on, you're dead. Like, or, you know,
Yeah.
depending on the gun, maybe you're dead anyways. Right? And depending on how close. I think if you get shot in the thigh or like someplace else... I think you would be maybe dead a little bit longer. Like, you'd still be dead because they have big arteries there.
Mhm.
But if you get shot, like, I feel like if you get shot in the leg, it should just affect your mobility.
Yeah. But in that case, for me, I feel like I'd rather just die than be hobbling around. I'd be like, oh, I wish the guy actually just...
But there's no response.
Oh, so... Yeah, if a game like PUBG, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking Battlefield, where
Yeah.
you have like the ticket counter and stuff.
No, that's different. But even still, it should be like that. But maybe not. I don't know. It depends on what you get shot with. Like, if you get your leg blown off, what's the deal? You're a casualty. You may not be dead, but you should be out of it.
Yeah.
But if you get shot, if you just... I don't know. Like, I feel like... Fuck, I don't know. You shouldn't be able to revive, though. Because I get it. If you get shot up in your arms, you're not going to be able to fight. You know, like, you take one shot, maybe you'll be able to revive.
You get
like,
shot in
maybe
the arm,
for
you can
very
only use a
minor
pistol
shit.
with the other arm or something.
Yeah, maybe for very minor wounds, that can be the thing. But, like, I understand you being a casualty and being... You don't necessarily need to be dead for your thing to go down. Like, if you get shot up, it shouldn't be like you died. Like, if somebody shot your legs up, you shouldn't have the death animation. It should have, like, oh, you've been incapacitated, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you're not dead, you'll probably make it, but for that moment in time, that soldier's dead. Like, he's non-playable at that point, right? And that's how it should be looked at, as opposed to, like, going through the death animation when you shut up my kneecaps. Because I know I wouldn't die from that. I might bleed out.
Yeah. The game Sniper Elite, I think, was really detailed where wherever you got shot, there was, like, a certain, like animation for that. But that game was, you were the sniper. It was like I don't think there was multiplayer, so I think it was always the animations of the guys you were shooting opposed to happening to you.
You just reminded me of something else. Active shooter. The thing we looked up there just before we started, the game Active Shooter we saw.
Oh yeah, there was a very angry mother.
Oh yes. Well, she didn't look like she had played a video game. I don't think she didn't play a video game in her life. But anyways, so these people made this game on Steam. It's called Active Shooter, and I guess there's an active shooter at the school, and you can play as either the SWAT team or the shooter,
or the
or a civilian.
Civilian, which is interesting.
Which is also interesting, yeah. And there's been some backlash. They got a petition with 8,000 signatures on it. And how stupid is she? She thinks that she's like, oh yeah, I'm helping, blah, 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 blah. I'm helping by spreading awareness. No, you're doing a free advertising campaign for this company. They got 8,000 signatures. I heard about this. I think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and like, there was petitions when Grand Theft Auto 3, I think, came out. And, like, it was so realistic and like...
I think they petitioned Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I'm pretty sure they did because of the fatalities and stuff like that. They're like, oh, is this too violent? And when is too much? I don't know, but I remember something about that. But
yeah, I think it's dumb. Like, it's like violent movies. You can have a movie where a school gets shot up, or you're gonna start protesting that, or like, you know.
Well, it goes to comedy. It's either all okay or none of it's okay.
Exactly.
You can't have like one, video games, no, but you can have John Wick. You can have all these crazy movies where this guy goes on rampages and shoots a bunch of people because his wife died and was sad or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's, I haven't seen John Wick, but There's a lot of movies that are like that. Like Sylvester Stallone and Rambo, he got like the cops gave him a cold shave with cold water. They were just kind of a dick to him, and he shoots up the whole town. Like it's a real overreaction in some of these crazy movies. But we like make it look like this guy's magnum opus of his life. He just has to go and get revenge on the town. But anyways, I don't think active shooter's a problem. I'd be more concerned about. I'd rather the people. Maybe these kids will play active shooter instead of going and shooting.
Shoot, exactly. Yeah. Could be good for kids. We don't know.
Yeah. Perfect. Well timed. Boom. 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 Okay. Well, I don't know. I think that's a good place to tie it up.
Yeah.
You want to tie it up? Because I don't know. I don't have nothing else to talk about for today.
No, I think we're pretty good. IGU number 28.
Yes, completed. With a guest.
Yeah.
How long? What episode was the last time we had a guest on? Episode 22 or something like that. It's a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Shout out again to Kamikaze. Thanks again for calling in. We really appreciate your time. Thanks to everybody else for listening. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, etc., hit us up. Leave a comment. Smash the like button. All that other jazz, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
International Gamers Union.
Snooty Scooby.
Binary Ghosts. Peace.
Later.
The International Gamers Union, committed to advancing gaming culture. Thank you for listening. Your game has been saved.